My name is Bill Hart. I'm in the Hoover River Chase area. I have a farmers agency over here in River Chase Office Plaza. We do property, casualty, life, home, auto, any kind of insurance. Bonds, it does not matter. We do any kind of insurance. It goes back 10 years. We've been there 10 years, and it is a church that was built by a man named Mr. Harper. He has a grandson named Art. And he wanted to have a place where people with autism could go to church, because a lot of times when they go to what we call a normal church, they act out because they have different behavioral disabilities. And so he wanted a place for his grandson to go to church. And so he had a church built on the grounds of Glenwood Autistic Institute, which is up on Sacred Hollow Road. It's a beautiful church, 2 stories. It's got everything a church has. And so they bring some folks in from around town that have autism. And of course, there's people that live there at Glenwood that go to the church. But I got involved in the church by a friend of mine that I went to Southeastern Bible College with. Her name is Lisa Fultz. And I joked because she kind of tricked me into it. She asked me if I could come by one Sunday and fill in and give a sermon. And I said, sure. And when I got there, it was total chaos. And I got up and I delivered a sermon that was your normal sermon. And it did not go over well. I bombed. It was horrible. And the preacher's wife is the first one that'll tell you it stunk. And she goes, that was terrible. And don't do it again. But as I was leaving, I asked the person, asked her, who's the regular pastor? And she says, we've been here since for years, and we've never had one. And I said, well, why not? And she said, well, you can see it's kind of hard to get somebody that, can mesh well with what they call the clients. And I said, okay. Well, she goes, we have youth groups that come through every now and again. And we have somebody that'll come through and do plays or stuff like that, but nobody regular. And I said, well, who's coming next Sunday? And she said, well, nobody. I said, then if you don't mind, I'll show up. And she goes, okay. And then the next Sunday came, and after the end of the service, I said, who you got coming next Sunday? She goes, we don't have anybody. I said, okay, well, then I'll be here next Sunday. And that was 10 years ago. We're going into our 11th year. So, I tell people they never asked me to leave. And of course, they hadn't asked me to stay either. But they've never asked me to leave, so I just kind of show up every Sunday, and they accept me. We do have a very small budget. Everything is donated. Church of the Highlands has donated things to us, and some other churches around town have donated things to us, like communion sets and screens and things like that. So we got everything we need to have a great service. We got the congregation is there, and the music is there, and I'm there, and of course God is always there. Or what I admire most about this congregation is they understand. And I said, oh yeah, they understand. And they said, well, how do you know they understand? I said, well, first we interact back and forth, and they know God, and they know what sin is, and they know salvation and things like that. But I often wondered when I first started there, do they understand? Until I got a call one night that one of the congregation members there was talking to his mama, and he was witnessing to his mom on the phone. So then I knew that, yeah, they understand. Material-wise, we don't need anything. God has blessed us. He's been very gracious. What we need is prayers, because it is a different situation there, but prayers is what we need. I really can't think of anything we need. God has been so good to us. Just think good thoughts for us and pray for us, and just I guess there is one thing that it would expand out, because, and I don't mean necessarily our church expanding out, but I've been a lot of places and talked to a lot of folks and pastors and churches and conventions and conferences and things like that, and I only know of one other church that is like this. And I know there's a big need out there for it, but it's also, a situation where it takes a lot of money to do this. And if it were not for Glenwood, then, it probably wouldn't exist, or the generosity of one parent or of two parents, it probably wouldn't exist.